Hello, everyone, and welcome back to season 4 of TechRise. Today, we are focused on introducing women in EdTech. So it's a great competition, and I'm excited to be back as the school year is getting started. For those of you just watching for the first time, I'm Desiree Vargas Wrigley, and I am Executive Director of TechRise, and now also founding GP of Velocity, an initiative started out of P33. And for those of you new to TechRise, we are a weekly pitch competition that focuses on bringing 5 founders from the greater Chicagoland area from a variety of industries and backgrounds and communities here to pitch their businesses in just 4 minutes. After their 4 minutes of pitching, they have 4 minutes of Q&A with the judges, and each one is competing for a chance to win $25,000. So we've had 350 founders take the TechRise stage over the last few years, and collectively they've raised $160 million in follow-on funding. So we are so incredibly proud of those founders and excited for those founders today. And we're also so lucky to be welcoming the William Blair team here as both judges and for our guest speaker, as they are our sponsor for today's amazing competition. So with that, I'm very excited to introduce today's judges. First, we have Justine Chu. She's Managing Director at William Blair and is based in the firm's Chicago office, where she leads the firm's global education practice. She joined William Blair's investment banking team in 2011, and prior to William Blair, she worked for JP Morgan and the corporate executive board. In her spare time, she can be found experimenting in the kitchen, curled up reading, or spending time with husband and 2 kids. And we also have Hannah Karsmer joining us, Vice President on GSV Ventures investment team. GSV is focused on investing in EdTech solutions that disrupt the pre-K to gray education landscape. And prior to joining GSV, Hannah spent 3 years as a consultant at EY Parthenon, where she was a member of their education practice. And last but not least, we have Demetrius Palmer, investor at Reach Capital. Demetrius is an investor and focused on early stage investments in education and the future of work, with experience in several impact-focused venture funds. Demetrius has led strategic investments to catalyze economic mobility and support underrepresented entrepreneurs. And sorry, I need to correct myself. Our judges are from 3 incredible different organizations. So glad to have you all here. And with that, we're getting started on time. So I will welcome our first competitor to the stage. We have Noma Shields with Youth Sports Science Institute. Okay, we definitely see a lot of versions of this screen right now, not quite seeing
sorry. Okay.
That's okay. No, we're good.
Is this better?
Yep, we can see everything. And so I'll go off camera and we're ready when you are.
All right. Well, good afternoon. I'm Noma Shields, founder of the Youth Sports Science Institute and STEMFit Academy. At YSSI, we're revolutionizing youth sports development by integrating digital tools and technology. With STEMFit Academy, this vision is being expanded through our online platform. My journey began in education and transitioned into youth fitness coaching, where I saw many talented athletes struggling academically and lacking career direction beyond sports. According to the Aspen Institute Project Play, 45 million youth participate in sports annually, and 70% of programs fail to incorporate STEM. I realized there's a significant gap that needs to be addressed. STEMFit Academy addresses this gap by connecting athletic passion with academic achievement, thus preparing students for STEM careers. STEMFit Academy merges sports and STEM through advanced data tracking, predictive analytics, and immersive AR/VR technologies. Students record performance metrics in Google Sheets, visualize them with Tableau, and interact with them in 3D using Flow Immersive. Our platform's gamified features such as progress bars, quizzes, badges, and leadership boards enhance engagement and fosters continuous learning. STEMFit stands out by integrating synchronous and asynchronous learning with AR/VR technology and real-world data applications. Unlike our competitors, we blend gamification with career-focused STEM skills, offering practical knowledge that captivates students and equips them with job readiness skills necessary for future success. In year 1 of our in-person programming, we reached 500 students through our partnerships with local high schools, After School Matters, and University of Chicago's Data Science Institute. By year 2, we will be expanding to the YMCA of Metropolitan Chicago and the Chicago Park District, engaging over 1,200 students. We are poised to scale nationally through our online subscription-based model targeting schools, youth sports leagues, and organizations. STEMFit operates within the $80 billion US sports and STEM education market, which is experiencing rapid growth, particularly in gamified learning, with a compound annual growth rate of 68%. We are targeting a $9.5 billion segment driven by increasing demand for integrated STEM and sports education solutions. Our strategy includes expanding into high participation sports such as basketball and soccer, with plans for regional expansion by year 3. STEMFit's revenue strategy includes an annual subscription model at $150 per user per institution, delivering full access to our platform, curriculum, and support resources. We also generate revenue through professional development training sessions priced between $2,000 and $5,000, designed for educators and coaches seeking to enhance their digital literacy skills. Additionally, our consulting services, ranging from $5,000 to $15,000 per project, provide tailored solutions and strategic guidance to organizations. With 60% of the awarded funding, it will be allocated to refining our learning management system by integrating technologies such as Google Sheets, Tableau, and Flow Immersive. 22% will enhance our gamified STEM curriculum to boost student engagement and apply their performance data more effectively. STEMFit is backed by a team with over 20 years of combined expertise in technology, data science, sports analytics, and coaching. Your investment will enable us to elevate the platform, which will create future leaders and innovators in both sports and STEM nationwide. Thank you.
Great job, Noma. All right, Justine, could you kick off the first question?
Yeah, sure. So I love the mission of what you're building. Help me understand how you think about efficacy, right? So if you're changing opinions for folks going into STEM fields or thinking about where they start, are you tracking the measurable impact that you have for the students who run through your program?
Yeah, we do track the impact of how they're learning data science. So with the University of Chicago's Data Science Institute, we focus primarily on data visualizations and creating a curriculum model that is a step, so each week students kind of have to go through different levels before they get to actually creating the visualizations. So first they create 2D models, hand-drawn rows, columns, inputting their data, then they put that into Google Sheets. And then once we feel like they've mastered Google Sheets, they then upload that into Tableau or Power BI, and then we have them integrate that into Flow Immersive. And so, but we never, we do survey the students in the beginning, making sure we know where they're at in their data science journey before we just toss all of this at them. But yeah, we track their progress throughout the course of the program, and then see okay, where can we enhance more so personalize the learning experience for each student. And that's why we really are pushing for our online platform, since we realize a lot of students do need more at-home coursework versus just in the classroom or on the court or on the field.
Hannah.
Awesome. Thanks, Noma. Really, really love what you're building here. And so understanding where you guys are today, and you are focused certainly on the Chicagoland area, expected to reach, I think, north of 1,000 students. I'm curious, what is your vision for the next 3 years, where you all think you could be, and then the vision for the next 5? So kind of what is the shorter term goal, and then the more long-term goal for your company?
We lost her video, but hopefully she can still hear us. She is in the room, but I don't know if maybe she lost access. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hannah, do you want to ask that question again?
Oh yeah, sorry. Hey Noma, thanks so much for sharing. I would love to hear a little bit about how you think about the short-term versus long-term vision for your company. So in Chicagoland today, where do you see yourself in 3 years? And then where do you see yourself in 5 years in terms of expansion?
Yeah, I would say that we have a good grasp on the Chicago market currently, especially with our partnerships with the YMCA, and we are looking to also partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. And so then, speaking to both of those organizations, they want to make sure the Chicago, like their the organizations that they currently have in Chicago are, it's smoothly integrating the program before they expand nationally. And so like in year 2 and 3, slowly graduating to other states that's a part of the, like slowly graduating to other states. So the YMCA's other locations on the East Coast or West Coast, Boys and Girls Club on the East Coast and West Coast. But, really determining how that expansion looks like with them.
Yeah, and then Demetrius, a quick one.
Yes, yes. I really love the space you're building in. I love the intersection with athletics and academics. My question is more so just on go-to-market, really understanding the hardware component of needing the VR, possibly the friction to integrate. Can you go a little bit deeper on that? Like who's truly the ICP long term, and how are you communicating ROI to those customers?
You have about 15 seconds, so fast.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so this is B2B, and so working with institutions, mainly youth sports leagues, organizations, and telling them and informing them of the like enhancements that they could have on their current youth sports development programming, given that sports tech, sports analytics is a growing field. And
I have to cut us off. Just to be fair, even with the little tech challenge, I gave us a little bit extra time, but I got to go to the next one. So great job, Noma. Thanks so much, judges, for your questions. And next, we are going to invite Ian Yang with Amah Health. And Demetrius, I'm going to have you go video off. Good. Thanks. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
We can. We're ready when you are.
Okay. AI is everywhere today. Properly designed prompts yield useful outputs, while poorly designed ones lead to irrelevant or detrimental results. Likewise, when doctors ask questions, it's just like giving prompts. We need those to be well-crafted for optimal patient care. However, many health professionals lack training in effective communication. They know how to give clinical responses like, take metformin daily with a meal, but often fail to truly engage with patients, using prompts to build trust and lead to the best possible care. Every word counts. Poor communication erodes trust, squanders resources, and can lead to worse health outcomes, costing an astonishing $1.7 billion and nearly 2,000 lives. This issue needs immediate attention. Specializing in patient communication training, Amah Health bridges the gap with our Skill Coach platform. Since the Skill Coach's generative AI is trained on science-backed rubrics, it delivers helpful and instant feedback, reducing the wait time for faculty evaluations from days to just seconds. For example, consider a patient reluctant to exercise because their high cholesterol is not showing symptoms. Skill Coach helps professionals tackle such challenges by providing personalized communication strategies, decreasing the patient's bad cholesterol level. Our ultimate clients are large insurers and health systems. They subscribe to Skill Coach as a SaaS solution to enhance their team's communication skills. To address the workforce shortages, they can also contract our services to access our coaches. We know for these clients, clinical evidence and stakeholder buy-in are critical. Therefore, we start by directly offering health coaching services to self-pay patients. This strategy, just like how pharmaceutical companies engage patients to influence prescribers, allows us to gather data and demonstrate that our solution works. Unlike others, we don't just train. Our performance feedback loop enhances patient communication during clinical visits. This is crucial in today's healthcare landscape where outcomes and financial performance hinge on patient behaviors like medication adherence. With the Skill Coach platform, Even a one-star improvement in Medicare quality ratings can boost revenues for insurers and hospitals by 17%, stressing our platform's financial impact. I am Ian Yang, the founder and CEO of Amah Health. For over a decade, I have helped people collaborate across cultural and linguistic boundaries as their interpreter. As a communication scientist, I taught translation studies, analyzed speeches, led a federally qualified health center research project, and coordinated a grant application with the National Institute of Health. Our progress is tangible. We secured grant funding from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, piloted training at Chicago's Community Health, presented at the American Medical Association, and raised funds from angels and the public. Next, we will use the TechRise grant to build brand awareness and hire an additional annotator to accelerate growth. The pandemic showed that facts alone do not change health behaviors. We train health professionals to craft effective prompts that gather crucial patient behavioral data and identify messaging preferences, improving health outcomes. Invest in us. Let's save lives and cut healthcare costs together.
Sorry, I had trouble getting back on, but great job, Ian. Okay, so Hannah, will you start us off with questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Emma. I'd love to understand if you could provide a bit more detail on the go-to-market and how you see the B2C eventually transitioning into B2B in this space.
Right. So the entire process of go to the B2B clients starts from gathering health consumer data. And that's why we are targeting small business owners and aspiring leaders and providing health coaching services to them because they're juggling a lot of stress, life, and health. And these clients are ready and able to pay. In addition, if you're an employer with fewer than 10 employees, you have fewer choices because you don't have a big group insurance available for you. Executive coaching is very expensive for these small business owners. So these are our first step, very targeted Chicagoland business owners. And I have friends in this area, so I know their pain. And that's how we're gonna work with Chamber of Commerce, local gyms, hire community organizers to go to different on-site spots to give education and recruit patients. Over time, we're collecting clinical, operational, and marketing data to use those to talk to B2B clients, which they always want to see evidence before they have a conversation with you.
Thank you.
Demetrius.
Yes, great job. The question that I had, I understand the value proposition for both the patients, better health outcomes, the insurers don't have to pay as much. Can you highlight the care providers, what their value proposition is?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, yeah. What was the I guess the add or value gain for the care providers?
So we can look at two parts of care providers if they're employed by a hospital. So they will have better self-efficacy and less burnout because provider burnout is a known situation. The quiet resignation, the nurse go out of workplace because they just feel their communication is not getting across and their feedback is not heard by the upstairs. So for the hospitalists, the AKA employees, self-efficacy and less fatigue burnout is what we're going for and what we're going to track. For those who are just starting out or having their own practice, patient retention, referral rate, that will also influence where they rank in insurance panels. So with those people, we can track their patient retention rate because they have more methodical engagement with their patients. And we're talking about task-oriented communication, not just how are you today, Mr. Jones. So achieving those specific behaviors like medication adherence, lifestyle changes, are those final outcomes, but we offer different value prop for different audiences.
Justine.
Yeah, can you help me understand if the skill sets that you need to coach patients, right, in your initial kind of revenue approach, to coaching clinicians, I think those are very different things, right? Because you're looking for clinical outcomes on one side, you're looking for behavior change on the other. Can you help us understand if you have the same capabilities, content, curriculum to actually address both as the platform currently stands?
Right. So we recruit licensed clinicians. Right now, we work with registered nurses. They will also have a supervising nurse practitioner. So for them, they are already licensed and practicing. They are receiving clinical refresher courses and communication science courses from us. And then we check, evaluate their assignment performances.
I have to
We
cut
give
this
them
off.
feedback.
We're at time, but great job. Thank you, Ian. Next, we are going to welcome Jay Lewis on with Valusync. All right, we can see you, but not your screen yet.
Can you see my screen?
We can. We're not. Oh, there you go. Now you're in presentation mode.
Okay.
All right, we're ready when you are.
Great. Thank you to TechRise and William Blair for this opportunity. I was a young child actor raised on a farm with creatives, but they didn't teach me to invest. So when I started investing, I made simple mistakes that didn't really work for me. But my story's not that unique. A lot of young investors today are short $1,800 per year. If I had invested $1,800 per year, I would have $79,000 today. For a lot of people, that could be a lot of things. The retail investing space really changed during the pandemic. People are starting earlier with a lower initial investment. If we recognize this opportunity, it's a $3.8 trillion opportunity, but missing it is a risk. People who are behind our investing risk career gridlock. But Valusync breaks this cycle with investing education that empowers people using experiential learning. We're beta testing our interactive learning tool and personalized equity seeker, the Stock Fox. This tool does three powerful things. First, we assess risk. Second, users filter through industries using Tinder-like swiping. And third, they filter through values, what we call the vibe check. Their inputs put together a list of matching equities. Blending the two definitions of value, users can save equities. Clicking on any of the financial metrics brings up a video explaining the concept. Ultimately, we guide them towards their first investment. Our business model is simple. For consumers, it's $10 a month, and we offer sales qualified leads for self-serve brokers. And the opportunity is massive. Of the 140 million Americans between the ages of 18 and 45, half are not currently invested. Incidentally, the same number are currently enrolled in a university, college, or trade school. With 6 schools to work with, if we get 700 users at half of them in the first 5 years, we'll hit 2 million users by year 5 and 200 million in ARR. And traction is building. Since the March MVP launch, I've created 5 new iterations of the MVP. And the next step is the go-to-market pilot, partnering with schools in Chicago. The next step on the pathway is personalized education pathways. Think Duolingo meets life. Next year, we plan on launching a portfolio and trading simulator to encourage experiential learning in a real-world environment. And we found a very special place in the market. Both fintech and edtech platforms offer generalized financial education. Valusync rises above, focusing on investing financial content and personalization, supported by our LLM to match score, which is patented. My name is Jennifer. You can call me Jay. I am a creative and data scientist and 20-year retail investor. As a first-time tech founder, I am finding myself surrounded by subject matter experts who are seeing the need and supporting the vision, and I'm very grateful for them. With the support of William Blair and TechRise, we'll be able to speed beta delivery, begin work on the EdPath and LLM project planning, and our go-to-market strategy. Success for this year would be 200 users generating sustainable revenue for us. But your impact would be more than just Valusync. With your investment, you would impact the financial futures of the next generation. If 35% of millennials and Gen Z invested $1,800 per year, in 20 years, that would generate $3.8 trillion in new wealth. We strongly believe that investing education equals economic mobility, and we are here to be that pathway. Thank you.
Right, great job. Demetrius, will you ask the first question?
Yes, of course. Great. I really loved everything you said about the investment education. My question is more so around the learning experience and how you plan to build that long-term moat from other competitors who are also in the investment education space.
Awesome. So the first part about our investing education that makes it different from existing platforms is that we actually modify the content that the user sees based on their inputs. And so the most common answer right now for millennials and Gen Z is at least half of them are leaning more into 1099 work and away from W-2 work. So those people don't have the safety net of a 401k. And so right out of the gate, you have divergent paths in your investing education. And so for future iterations, we're going to bring in more content related to some of the things that millennials and Gen Z are investing in outside of equity. So alternative investments and digital assets, things of that nature.
Justine.
Thanks. Can you talk a little bit more about how you build in holistic personal finance planning outside of investment education, right? Because one could argue if you have really high college, really high debt, you should pay that down before you're investing in the market, right? So just from like a altruistic, I guess, mathematical standpoint, can you talk a little bit about how you think about those elements versus kind of the implication that everyone should just get in the market, right? And take your 7% return?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So we're focused on the personalization aspect of it, right? And so if the user has high college debt, that would be factored into the content that they see. We're focused on partnering with number one registered investment advisors and financial educators to make sure that we're creating the most holistic view of financial education, but focusing in on the personalization. Because I think the main problem that young people have right now is weeding through all of that information to find what works for them.
Anna.
Awesome. Thank you, Jay. So today you're starting in schools in Chicagoland, and then sounds like down the road in a few years looking to expand that to a more experiential learning real world environment. So thinking not only about how the content changes, depending on, investments, like you said, it'll be catered to the inputs of the individual user, but how do you think about the delivery of that content? So a high schooler is going to need a very different learning experience than someone who's just graduated college. So how do you think about growing with the user through that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are focused more on think like Duolingo meets life. So there's a little pathway that we create to keep them engaged, using some principled gamification, but more so kind of a choose your own adventure to give them a sense of agency and ownership over their futures. That's kind of how we're thinking about it. We are focused on college students right now, but with some regulatory work and other stuff, we can expand that to high school for sure.
We do have time for one more question. Anyone have one? If not, Jay, do you want to say any parting words?
Sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm incredibly grateful. And upcoming with P33 and 1871 and World Business Chicago is the Future of FinTech Week. I will be pitching during the Pitch Hype Man's event on the 25th. I encourage you all to be there. It should be a really amazing learning experience.
Well, great job. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
To the judges for the great questions. And next, we're going to invite Jenny Arrington with Look. We can see your screen, but we can't see you yet.
Okay, you see the screen?
And we can see you, yeah.
Great.
Ready when you are.
Look is a software service digital well-being solution. Emily scrolls on social media for 6 hours a day. This compulsive behavior has rewired her brain. She used to love being outside and laughed all the time, but now she is unfocused, anxious, and depressed. There are 60 million Emilys out there. These are my teenage daughters, and I've been doing everything in my power to protect them from the harms of social media for the last 10 years because addiction is a feature of these products, not a bug. I've been on the ground for the last 4 years leading a comprehensive school-based well-being program, but that wasn't enough because phones. Young people want more. That's what inspired us to scale our intervention and build Look. Now Emily has Look. Gone are the distracting apps, replaced by a streamlined interface, so she doesn't fall into her old habits. It works with the Screen Time API to gamify behavior change and uses AI to personalize the experience while encouraging healthy practices informed by our proven curriculum. If Emily tries to open TikTok, she gets a personalized nudge with a redirect, because when we are trying to overcome a compulsive behavior, we have to replace it with a healthy, more compelling one. Those redirects come from our proven curriculum. If she chooses to continue into TikTok, she'll lose points. She earns points when she walks, sleeps, meditates, and hangs with friends and family. Look is always running in the background, but if Emily opens the Look app, she can choose to do a daily quest for extra points that helps her meditate, walk, rest, learn a little of the neuroscience behind all of those things, and wind down for sleep. All the content for these supports are already built, and we've done a longitudinal study showing their efficacy. All of this is free in order to democratize well-being tools. However, if Emily is on a family plan, it unlocks additional features that support her and her family. Now they no longer fight about screen time, and they are each other's accountability partners. And her parents' minds are at ease because of the social media guardrails. When they hit screen time and well-being goals, they unlock discount codes and parent-funded rewards. We are laser focused on capturing 5% of the 17 million parents who are desperately wanting help managing their children's digital well-being. We're going to dominate this niche. Our go-to-market strategy leverages our strategic partnerships already in place, our existing user base, parent and school networks, and a vibrant youth advisory board. Yes, we have competitors, but no other solution tackles this complex problem with an appropriately sophisticated multi-tool solution backed by behavior change science. We need a Swiss Army knife to solve this problem, not a butter knife. With the 25,000, we will transform our web-based program into the mobile-enabled solution outlined here. Leveraging our partnerships, we will have 4,000 users on day one and quickly increase that to 10,000 through share codes and a PR campaign. I've spent decades studying, practicing, and teaching the tools that are at the heart of our proven learning pathway. I've taken this company from concept through to a successful program reaching thousands of users and generating 275,000, all without taking any outside investment. I've assembled the best possible team to get Look to the next level. Ryan was the principal software architect at eBay and PayPal, and Matt has led campaigns for the biggest brands in the world. And my co-founder, Dr. Tate, has done decades of behavior change and mental health research that has been published in the most prominent academic journals. Let's look up from our phones and look toward a better future. Fund Look. Thank you.
Great job, Jenny. All right, Justine, you go first. Oh, you're muted.
I'm on mute. Sorry, love the concept. Sorry, clearly there's a huge market for folks who are figuring out how to deal with this. My biggest question is about the revenue model, right? Because ultimately there's probably some intertension between a 14-year-old wanting to be on a phone and a parent who wants to pay for it. And so how do you think about the natural pull towards it wanting to be more of a monitoring software, right? Where parents will want to have more access, more data control versus the pedagogical approach you have on the other side of trying to do this for yourself.
So we've spent the last 4 years on the ground with teenagers, and the teen brain is wired to want autonomy, respect, and status. And so we are hitting that sweet spot. We are not Bark, which is really like a police, and parents can read texts, and it's really heavy-handed. Our sweet spot is saying, hey, you guys are going to be off on your own soon in college or off on your own working. And parents, hey, you need to lay off and let them learn these tools. So now instead of this top down, it's a together. And so it gives the parents the relief that they don't have to be the police anymore. And the kids the relief that their parents don't have to be on them all the time. So it's giving everyone the education. And what we hear from teens as well is that they're annoyed that their parents are on their phones just as much as they are. So we address that directly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenny. So the way that I'm thinking about this is the more that this app works, the less of a need that there is for it. And so potentially a good problem to have. But I guess, how do you think about, as students and teens, as they, limit social media use, how do you think about the continuing with the value of the app and encouraging it, that's still bringing value to them, even as maybe they delete TikTok and Instagram, et cetera, as they go to college?
Well, we really are taking more of a safe sex approach opposed to abstinence, and maintaining an ongoing healthy relationship with social media and technology is an ongoing practice. And we intend to grow with, what is your relationship to the phone when you are in a relationship, when you get pregnant, when you have a child, when you're parenting. It changes subtly as you grow and with what your needs are from your phone. So our content will continually grow in that way. And as we see, as adults and parents are quite addicted as well, they have their own needs. It's something that doesn't quite go away completely. And those ongoing guardrails, those little nudges to take you off and get you off, meditating, walking, resting, sleeping, all of those things are a constant need, really.
Thanks.
Demetrius.
Yes, actually, my question is expanding on that last piece that you left off, and that's the overall behavior change science, right? Because for my phone, at least, I know I have the reduction where it pops up, and it's like, hey, you hit your limit, and I just bypass it every time. I'm gonna be honest. So I really want to know, like, deeply, kind of your perspective on not just being another nudge, but going to the next level, and then two, ensuring that customers will want to pay for that long term.
Absolutely. So what you are getting now are dumb nudges. So we have smart interventions. So AI using geolocation will help us make it really smart. Hey, Emily, you just finished school. It's 75 degrees out. It's a perfect time now to take your walk. That's one example. Smart interventions at the right time. And offering that redirect that I mentioned. Just saying get off is not enough. When we are trying to change a compulsive behavior, you have to replace it with that healthy other behavior. So
Sorry, we're at the 8-minute mark, but great job. Thanks a lot, Jenny, and thank you, judges, for your questions. And next, is last but not least, we have Syeda Ahmed with Tutors Loop. All right, we can see you. Oh, and then it looks like your screen's coming up. All right, you're good to go.
Did you know every 26 seconds a student in the United States drops out of high school, adding up to 1.2 million students each year, or about 7,000 every day? This crisis is significant in low-income families, where the dropout rate can be as high as 11.8% compared to those middle or high-income families. This gap highlights the dire need for accessible educational support for these children. From a young age, I understood the importance of education through my own experience in Pakistan. Growing up, my mother was part of a family where educational opportunities for girls were non-existent. And as a result, she couldn't attend school. This lack of education made her entirely dependent on my father, not just financially, but also for making any significant life decisions. Just before we were about to move to the United States for a better life, my father passed away, leaving us in challenging circumstances. Despite these challenges, we were able to access extra support such as private tutoring due to a culture of peer tutoring in Pakistan. This system allowed university students to tutor high school students at a very affordable price. It was a mutually beneficial arrangement where university students gained a good reputation in the community and earned an income, while high school students received a tutoring help they needed without the high cost. When we moved to the United States, I noticed that receiving private tutoring was very expensive and out of reach for many children. Despite its high cost, the tutoring market is growing very fast. It is projected to grow 8.4 billion by 2025. This growth shows that there is also a need for a marketplace for tutoring services where peer tutors can build their own brand and credibility and earn income. We address these two markets. At Tutors Loop, our mission is twofold: to make private tutoring affordable and to empower university students by providing them with a tutoring marketplace where they can earn income and develop valuable skills. Contrary to traditional tutoring models, at Tutors Loop, we focus on affordability and building a community of learners by connecting students across different educational levels. Our financial projection indicates that we will require additional funding to launch our product in the market. We have a dedicated team with over 20 years of experience in IT, software development, and business management. We have been nominated by Chicago Innovation twice, and our story was recently published by Verizon Small Businesses. We have acknowledged the wide gap in educational opportunities across the country. Lack of educational is directly related to poverty, and poverty is linked to a number of crimes and social injustices. Tutors Loop bridges this gap by offering affordable peer-to-peer tutoring solutions. By leveraging technology through our platform, we build a community of learners, empower and inspire students to overcome educational barriers and create opportunities for peer tutors to develop their personal brand and enhance their future prospects. Thank you.
All right, great job. And sorry if people can't hear me. I think maybe my headphones are going out, but I'll try to speak louder. Hannah, you can go first.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I think that totally agree that this is such an important issue. I'd love to hear about how you're thinking about the stickiness of the platform. I think sometimes the challenge with the services marketplace is the tendency for folks to go off of the platform and then kind of connect directly. And so how do you think about ensuring the quality and stickiness of a platform like yours?
Okay, so I think, yeah, there is going to be some people who will leave this platform and they're trying to, like go out and then, get the tutoring services through Skype or other, tools. But I think our platform, using our platform is necessary because we have a secure payment system, and then where students can feel secure. And then we record sessions, and the recording will be sent to the student for revision. And there are so many other tools they can use on the platform they won't be able to use if they leave the platform.
Thank you.
Demetrius?
Yes, I'd love to know more about how you're thinking about maintaining quality across different tutors, bringing on different university students who may not have experience as prior educators, and maintaining a high quality over time as you think about scaling.
Okay, so initially we plan to recruit local university students who are already offering peer tutoring services on campus. And later, as we grow, we plan to implement background check and credential verification APIs on our system. And also, our platform works more like a freelancing marketplace where service providers build their brand through reviews and ratings. So we have two ways real-time review system.
Justine?
Thanks so much. Can you tell me a little bit about differentiation of this platform versus the many others that are out there? There are quite a few tutoring marketplace models that are connecting tutors to students with a lot of different go-to-market formations. Can you explain to me kind of what is unique about yours and what makes it different?
Okay, most important is that it is affordable. All other platforms, they don't have a hourly rate cap. We have an hourly rate cap in place, so tutors are not allowed to, exceed a certain range when they are um, building their, like creating their profile. Second is that we are connecting um, university students with high school students, the peer tutoring platform. Other platforms, they target a broader audience, and most of the time they include adult learners as well. We are focusing on high school students.
And if I have time for a follow-up,
We
if
do.
you do cap it, what's to keep your most talented tutors from going to one where it's uncapped, right? So if it's, I'm a college student, I can do this or drive DoorDash or whatever, it's kind of dependent on me doing this out of the goodness of my heart because I like my high school students, right? Versus going to able to find the next best opportunity, especially once I've established myself. Can you talk about how you've thought about that?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, I mean, if you're capping one side of the marketplace and how much money they can make, what is
Right, we only have about 10
stopping them
seconds
from
left.
leaving?
So really
Anyway,
quickly, Syeda,
all
just
good.
like basically how to keep your best tutors on if you're capping how much they can make.
Um, uh, they are going to level up, and then we can, offer them, like they can increase their prices and we can
So sorry, I
show
have to be
them.
fair, so I have to cut
Okay.
us off. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but great job everyone today competing, and the judges now have the unenviable job of going to choose the winner of the $25,000 prize brought to you by William Blair. So judges will say goodbye. Good luck with the deliberation, and founders, great job. And so while the judges are deliberating, I am honored to be bringing on our friend, Nancy. She is the head of community development at William Blair, and their global philanthropy initiatives, and she champions their culture of philanthropic commitment and celebrates employee engagement, including doing good with what they're good at doing with their Capital Collective. So it's so nice to have you here, Nancy. It seems like you have an incredible career of corporate social responsibility, which is honestly the path that brought me into entrepreneurship way back in the day. So kindred spirit here. But I think there are plenty of people that might be watching or listening that might not know what William Blair as an or as a company does. So should we start with who is William Blair and what do you all do?
Yes. So William Blair, we're a premier global boutique with expertise in investment banking, institutional investment management, as well as private wealth management. We provide advisory services and also solutions to meet our clients' evolving needs around the world. We're very proud of being an independent and employee-owned firm with a very differentiated culture, especially around community engagement. I want to give a shout out to my colleagues as an example of doing good with what we're good at doing. We had Kate Hui, Libby Schumann, Sam Longnecker, and Crystal Flick in our investment banking team, as well as Stephen Sheldon in our research team, who actually helped with each of the founders in their pitch prep for today. So that just is a glimpse of our differentiated culture as a firm.
Yeah, well, thank you all. And you're headquartered in Chicago.
Yes, we are headquartered here in Chicago, but we do operate in more than 25 cities worldwide.
Amazing. And so I know, we're here to talk a lot about the Capital Collective. So you want to tell us a little bit about what that is and how it got started?
Yes, so as I shared earlier, we do have a strong culture around community engagement, and we saw this opportunity that, on top of the philanthropy, the giving, the volunteerism, how can we lean into doing good with what we're good at doing? And so we explored this white space of where can we add the most value, and we saw this opportunity to lead financial empowerment through the lens of wealth building and also increasing access to capital for underrepresented entrepreneurs. And in that journey, we saw how that less than 2% of venture capital is going to women founders. And you also shared that stat that only 1.9% are going to other racial and ethnic minority founders. And so We just see that there's this huge white space of untapped talent, of undercapitalization, and we see this in small business as well. And so we're really leaning into this area with our skill set, providing not only the human capital, but the social capital as well, and partnering with amazing organizations like TechRise, as well as the YWCA Breathe Love Accelerator.
Yeah, can you like double click on that one a little bit? How are you all, I know how you work with us, and you're showing up here today as a demonstration of that. But how about with the YWCA and maybe for those listening, what the Breed Love Center does and how you all partner?
Yes, they provide an accelerator for Black women entrepreneurs, and they offer 2 cohorts a year. And I want to give a shout out to both TechRise and Breathe Love, because in 2 weeks, they are having a TechRise pitch competition, which we're really excited about. And so how we partner with them is not only providing the financial and human capital again, but leaning into our skills and expertise. So we lead a whole workshop around the purpose of capital, around the mindset that we think entrepreneurs should have as they think about raising capital. And also we bring in, speakers from our various teams to teach them about how to pitch to investors. Similar to today, what are the principles and things that they should keep in mind with their pitch prep? So that's how we work with one partner. We like to meet people and the community where they're at. So depending upon the organization that we're partnering with, we want to really approach it with this human-centered design and way of thinking, and really provide whatever curated experience or learning opportunity that's appropriate for that group.
That's amazing. We do have a lot of founders on here that are really kind of headed towards venture track, right? Which means they are trying to get these unicorn exits and be fund returners for the VCs that they work with. But so much of our economy is built on top of scaled businesses that might not be on this track. And I think, from what I understand, at least about Breed Love, part of it is thinking about how do we take these women-owned businesses who have made $100,000 or $250,000, and how do we get them past the $1 million mark, right? And so I'm curious, like, how you think about the role that, not just, and I'm going off script as usual, hope that's okay, but how like William Blair can partner with other Chicago-based companies or other kind of HQ2s and HQ3s to support these businesses as they continue to grow and scale beyond the capital.
I love that you raised that, because there's a reason why we call it the Capital Collective. It's something that we know we cannot do alone. So anyone who is listening to this video call, please do reach out to partner us, because we know that we cannot do it alone. So we hear different things, right? We see that there's a need for more of these types of programs, but then we're also hearing from other founders that sometimes they feel over-mentored and undercapitalized. And so another opportunity that I think is here is that maybe different types of capital. And so not every business may be VC backable, for example. And so how can we explore what are some creative solutions out there, emerging trends around, let's say, revenue-based financing? And I'm going to share for the first time that we are looking to launch a capital collective fund where we too will provide grants to founders that will hopefully unlock more capital. So for example, a bridge grant that will allow them to get the collateral that they need to unlock maybe a $250,000 loan. So we're exploring who else do we need to partner with, and again, meet them where they are at. Is there a need for a certain type of program, or perhaps a program or even back-end support to get them to launch or scale their business? And then for those who are undercapitalized, other streams of capital that they can access.
It is such an important way to think about the problem, because, not everything requires the hammer that is venture capital. And for those listening who don't know the nuance there is that, when you're raising money from VC, every single deal that a VC is doing is wondering, like, can this be the thing that returns our entire fund times 3? So that means that there has to be an opportunity for $100 million in revenue or $200 million in revenue per year in a relatively short period of time. But if you look at private credit or grants that bridge into or revenue-based financing, you have a kind of more patient timeline that still allows companies to get very, very big, but at maybe a kind of an inflection rate that is different than venture, which kind of expects that hockey stick. So it is a critical piece. And I'm curious, with the kind of explosion of private debt as a category for investors, is that a partnership opportunity that you see, or is it something that you all are thinking about alongside some of your philanthropic work?
Absolutely. We are exploring all types of partnerships and opportunities. And I think I want to lean into the word opportunity, because think of all of these other wonderful products and services that have been launched, but couldn't find the financing, but the profitability would have been there. And most of all, they're solving for a problem of a consumer base. And so, yes, exploring these types of alternative modes is something that we're looking to. We're having conversations, really listening and learning right now. And then hopefully, again, through this collective, make the connections to inspire some magic and make some perhaps new opportunities out there where founders can access more of these different types of capital, achieve success, and accelerate the success that was intended for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very ambitious project, and so excited to have you all as partners, providing capital for founders. I know it's just getting started, but I'm curious how you anticipate founders reaching out to you, connecting with your team. How can they learn more, or at least kind of get in a newsletter or something to figure out what's coming?
Yes, absolutely. Well, everyone's welcome to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm proud to say that I'm the only Nancy Bonges on LinkedIn, so it's easy to find me. We do have a Capital Collective webpage, so if you just do a search of William Blair Capital Collective, you can learn a little bit more about that. And I do want to share that we rely really on our main circle of partners. So we do have global community partners that we like to prioritize within our networks. And so often we tend to connect entrepreneurs and founders with the existing network of partners. But again, if there is an unmet need that cannot be solved for by the existing partners that we have, we would love to be able to find out who this founder entrepreneur can connect with.
Amazing. So, we've talked a little bit about the kind of philanthropic arm of William Blair and how you all are providing capital. But often as founders, we think of big companies as potential acquirers. Some of us maybe have contract opportunities with you all. And then, the community engagement piece is an amazing kind of early stage. I'm curious if there are other ways that entrepreneurs should be thinking about partnerships with bigger companies like yours. Is there a way to start building relationships early on so that it goes beyond just, the community engagement piece, but maybe is actually serving a need within the organization or the company? Just kind of kicking the tires on this one. Like, how do we get founders and their businesses to scale alongside some of our large businesses?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. It's a great question. And by the way, give me a 2-minute mark because I can go on and on with this topic. I think it's really unique to each business, but I know that every single business and company wants to find the intersection of where profit meets purpose. And so absolutely, I think what I'm proud of us of William Blair is that community engagement, for example, is not seen as a sidebar project of extra credit. It's something that's truly embodied throughout the firm. In fact, our philanthropy is all about our employees. It's completely employee inspired. And I like to say that that's how we approach our solutions as well. And so thinking about just in terms of that shared value, I think every company wants to find what is that shared value that we can be intentional with who we, for example, source suppliers with their expertise, but also their background and diverse backgrounds, a multi-facet approach in terms of how we define diversity. So I would say it's very unique to each company, but what shared value means to them in terms of tapping into the purpose of the company, their brand, who they want to be, as well as their impact on their clients and the impact on their community. Everyone wants to find that where those intersection points are. So I would say it's unique, but that shared value is something that is universal.
I completely agree. And, one of the great things about this city, I think, is just how integrated we are at, the company level, the philanthropic level, the civic engagement of groups like our civic committee, and then our founders coming together. So I think we as a city are uniquely positioned to help accelerate each other's growth in a way that I just truly don't think other cities are doing as much. So thank you for all of your hard work. I know that the judges are on their way back in. They're not quite back in. So I will, I guess, ask one more question that's a little bit more about the way you and I have been talking lately. But, we talk a lot about how to support founders from this kind of friends and family stage of capital, even pre-seed. But we also recognize that there are a lot of Chicagoans and Illinois citizens that are not participating in this asset class at all. And so curious how you're thinking about, as, an investment advisor, how you all think about alternatives as this advisor to your clients, and then also, I guess, personally as an angel.
Well, I don't think I can speak on behalf of all of our, investment strategy or how we work with each client. Again, it's very curated. We're very proud of how we provide solutions according to each client's needs. But I will say that just even personally, and something that I've been inspired by my colleagues is to always approach what are these solutions. So even in this journey of building out our capital collective, I was learning how I, as a middle-aged woman, at a certain point in my career, I realized I didn't know about some of these different ways that one can invest and alternative investments, and even learning things like, gosh, there's other ways to invest too, not just writing a big check, but it can be done through your IRA, for example. And so it just showed me how women are often overlooked in terms of being able to be exposed to all of these different opportunities. And that's something that we're thinking about at William Blair as well, is how can we meet the rising needs and changing needs of women with the coming wealth transfer. We want to be really client centric in terms of their needs today, but what's happening tomorrow. And again, that opportunity of just how much women can do and women should know is there. And I get excited about the idea of solving for it.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much for being a wonderful partner to TechRise and to P33 and to the rest of our founder ecosystem with the Capital Collective and all the work that you are doing. So thanks, Nancy, for being here and for sponsoring today's prize. And it looks like the judges are back, so I'll welcome them back onto the stage. And then founders, you can come back on too, so we can announce the winner. And just as a reminder, we're going to say who got runner-up. Runner-up matters because that means that they are in the running for our grand finale and the $100,000 prize that comes with that. And then today's winner will get a $25,000 check. Also, so all right, with that, who is our runner-up?
It's me. Thank you all so much for the work that you did and the work you're doing to make the community better. So we appreciate all of you taking the time to share with us what you're doing and also to answer our rather invasive questions. But hopefully they helped you think a little bit more about what you're doing. We're so pleased to announce our runner-up and our winners of the TechRise pitch competition today. Runner-up, we have Jay Lewis with Valusync. Wonderful job. We think there's a huge problem that you could be solving, and it seems like a really neat product. So super jazzed about that. And our winner is Jenny Arrington with Look. So we were all really excited by the opportunity that you're offering, not only for kids, but also made us self-reflect a lot on what we could be doing better. It seems like a massive challenge that you're taking a really thoughtful approach to addressing. So congratulations to both of you and to everybody for what you've done. And we look forward to being supportive in the future.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it doesn't say, Jenny, if you want to say any parting words before we sign off.
So honored and grateful. This is super exciting and yeah, a little bit speechless, but really excited. Thank you.
Well, congrats, Jenny. And thank you so much to our incredible judges. And also, of course, thank you to William Blair for sponsoring today. And as a reminder to those watching, these founders are just starting their journey with us at TechRise. We have many workshops that we have. We have something called Speed Round to support them as they go through their journey of raising. And, our founders have raised $160 million in follow-on funding. So we can't wait to see what these founders do over the next few years. But also know that the four winners, or so four competitors that did not win today, are welcome back onto the TechRise stage in the future. So it's not just a one and done. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you all so much. And congrats again, Jenny.